Hey everyone, today I'm going to do a 15 minute plus 10-second increment game on chess.com. It's been a while since I've played this slow of a time control, so let's see how it goes. We'll do this view. Start with d4 and see where the game takes us. You can see down in the bottom right I have a provisional-ish rating. I haven't played in a while, so I win 26 points if I win, lose 29 if I lose 1 if I draw. So my opponent is rated 1531. Okay, so he's going for like a queen's. And this is a weird setup. You normally don't see an early knight f6 and then fianchetto the light square bishop. It's strange, but it's fine, I'm sure. Not super familiar with it. Yeah, pretty strange setup. I'm just going to develop like normal. I wonder how he's going to complete his development. If he's going to go like knight here, maybe castle queenside, or what? Maybe just play d5 now and pretend like this is a normal setup. Yeah, this is pretty uncommon though. I don't think it's bad necessarily, but nothing I've really played against. Um, so I had a couple goals for this game. Mainly, my goal is to look at all my opponent's threats. So I want to see. I basically want to not drop material, not miss a double attack or anything like that. I feel like I lose a lot of games just because I'm not paying close enough attention to my opponent's threats. So e6, pretty unscary move there. Yeah, just kind of a strange development. I wonder if he's going to go double fianchetto. Okay, just something slower. Um, I'm just going to play c4 and kind of play for a big center. So maybe knight c3. E4 doesn't work right away because he has the knight and the bishop on that square, but that's kind of what I'm thinking. So yeah, this game I wanted to play nice and solid. I want to not drop anything, of course, and I really want to. I think knight e5 is a pretty strong move here. So he can't take. My bishop is on the long diagonal. Otherwise, could I take maybe just queen c2? I don't know. I feel like knight e5 is just a really strong move here. Knight e5, knight d7 though. What do I get? Takes, takes. It's not anything too exciting. I don't even know what kind of. This is like a weird delayed like open Catalan, but with a very early queenside fianchetto. Alright, I'm just gonna play queen c2. I'm not sure about this, but I think I'm better here, but I don't know the right way to play against this setup. I've said this like 10 times already, but it's a lot different than what I'm used to seeing. So it'll make for a good game. I feel like 95 was pretty good there, but didn't come up with a good answer just to 97 challenging my knight. Do I go f4 there and just lock that square down? Doesn't seem right to me. So this seems good. A lot of the times against this like Catalan type setup, you want your queen on c2 and you can take this pawn when it favors you. But anytime these bishops are aligned, you need to pay pretty close attention to tactics. So like if he takes here, there's sometimes moves where you can play knight g5 and your queen is lined up for checkmate at the same time you're hitting this bishop. But that's a long ways in the future right now. Takes, okay. Promise this is just water, even though it's in a Moscow Mule Cup. I feel like taking is the most obvious move. Maybe like knight e5 here, but then take. Oopsies. Scan QR code. I don't know what just happened. I saw the dinosaur though. So here, take, and then this pawn hangs. Do I get anything for that? I think I'm just going to capture back here. The thing is, I want to develop, but then he can kind of lock it down with a5. Okay, well, what if I undermine there? Maybe that's fine. If I just play here, try to recapture with the knight. I could also go knight a3. No, but then he takes. I don't want that. How about here and just leave a little tension on the board? I think this is okay. Again, I'm out of books, so I'm just kind of making it up, but I think taking here is fine. This move, I feel, is a good move too, but again, I don't know. I really don't know. I see that he can take, and win this pawn, but then I'm going to win this pawn back, get a quick rook over. I did see that in case I have failed my goal on move 8. But I did see that he could win this pawn, but he has to part with his... Oh, you know what? Actually, if he takes here, I can take with my knight, and then this pawn is still defended. So, scratch all that. Let's see what he's going to play here, though. I like my position, though. I think I'm doing pretty well here. And e4 to come, too. That's a pretty dangerous pawn. Okay, interesting move. Again, knight e4 seems strong here, because then this knight is pinned. I don't understand this move. What's he aiming for? Here, I guess? Tempo on my queen? Then I can check. It's not so good, though, because then he can block. This knight is defended. So maybe I just want to take here. Okay, what I see. Take here, then bishop out. Oh, then I can check. I think that's okay. But if I take here, knight here, maybe I just play like a slow move. A3 to keep the knight off from coming here. This seems like a helpful move too. But then he can push. All right, I think it's time to win this pawn back. So queen takes. Can he get a tempo? Oh yeah, he can do this one and hit this pawn. But wait, here, check. And not a great way to block. Okay, I'm going to go this one. Don't love it. I think it's more thematic to take with the knight there. But I didn't want to get annoyed with knight b4. Maybe just queen b1 there would have been fine. Okay, I'm going to get lost in variations if I keep analyzing. Yeah, so for this game I'm going to play, hopefully win, hopefully gain 26 rating points. I'll do some analysis afterwards, dude, to go over key moments. This is already a pretty sharp opening, though. There's a lot of tension, very active pieces. I want to put a rook on d1. Got to get my dark square bishop involved, and look for some opportune discoveries with this bishop lined up against his bishop. I feel like this is going to be a long-term type of theme in this game. Yeah, I think it was probably more correct to take with the knight there. Yeah, so I saw this check. Check. So his bishop is only defended now by his knight, so he can't block with the knight. He could push, but then I just drop back and defend my pawn again. That seems totally fine. Alright, let's see how he's gonna respond here. Because now this pin is even more severe. Okay, so I'm just gonna drop back and defend this pawn. I guess the pawn's not under attack anymore. That does change things. So maybe I just go back to c2. Yeah, but c2 runs into the same knight move. All right, let's go all the way back home. Queen d1. So I got the pawn back. I feel like I have a little more space. This pawn looks very weak to me. It's a strange looking move to make. His knight is in direct fire of this pin, so I'm liking my position. I'm also up 2 seconds on the clock, so that's helping me. Oh, I was down 2 seconds on the clock when I said that, but now I made it up. Clear my notification here. Elaine's intermediate Yusupov improver plans. I'm going to check that out after this game. I love seeing all the study plan updates in our Discord and in our ChessGoals club. See, castles is probably a very normal move here. If castles, I would like to maybe just e4 and really grab the center. I need to be aware of this bishop pin. Or not pin, but x-ray, I guess, behind the pawn. And I also need to get this bishop in the game. Maybe a fianchetto here would be strong. I like the look of that because if I play e4, then my bishop is kind of backing up these advanced pawns. So then I can play maybe e5, and this pawn chain is going to be very strong. Kind of lines up my pawns toward the king. I assume he's going to castle kingside at this point. But yeah, kind of an awkward setup by both of us. I'm sure I didn't play the opening as well as I could have. Okay, I really want to get this knight to move. So like, let's say here, takes. This knight is pinned. Is there any way to exploit that? This knight is very awkwardly placed. This bishop is very awkwardly placed. This pawn is very awkwardly placed. Yeah, so why knight d7 there instead of c6? I don't know. So I want to play e4. Where does the knight go? Maybe back here? I really feel like there's something with this knight, though. I'm even looking at a4 takes. I think I'm going to go e4 and just take a big center. Looks good to me. Get my rook over. Okay, yeah, so this pawn is pretty well defended. But even so, I'm going to... I guess I'll reinforce. But I really want to find a nice knight discovery here. The only problem was if I ever push, he can put his knight right back on d5, which is too bad. But I have a nice big center. If he pushes here, it doesn't work quite yet. I can just take. But that's a push I'm going to have to be aware of course. I don't feel like if he pushes, I don't think I want to push past. Oh, this one, interesting. What now if I push? Knight here. What if I go here, take. Do I need to resolve the tension? Guess I don't need to. Maybe push, knight here, knight e4. It's looking like a pretty nice setup. e4 does give up these squares. So the knight here would, knight on d5 would be a very strong square. Maybe I just get my knight out of the way. Okay, here, what if he pushes? Here, push. I feel like I should be happy with that, because then I get to keep my big center. Or maybe just go for the fianchetto. Takes, I can take back with the knight. I feel like that improves my position. He can lock it down then. He can go to f5. I think that looks okay. I don't really see anything super sharp in this position, so I think I'm just going to keep playing solid. If he pushes past, I'm fine with that. But yeah, this diagonal is very spicy right now. I just don't see any way that I can really use it. Again, I feel like the position is very good for white just because black is very passive. This bishop isn't doing anything. These pawns are just kind of weird. So I bet one of these pawn pushes was stronger there, but I just couldn't calculate how or why it was good, so I left it. I think in this position, if I can push, that's a pretty good move. So take. I have this nice center pawn that's isolated, but it's very, very hard to capture, I feel like. Then I can even play d6 sometime and really have this pawn be annoying. The difference between doing that now and in this position is my queen can back it up. So he'll probably want to actually capture this pawn. Captures the pawn. Which way do I want to go? Maybe this knight? Yeah, I'm threatening knight c6 at that point. Maybe I want to take with this knight. Free up my bishop a little bit. This knight seems pretty well played. Well, I mean, not really. This knight seems better placed than this knight. So yeah, so maybe here I'll take with this knight to get it more centralized. And at that point he can't really push because then I have this knight fork. I win the bishop pair. Knight back. Or bishop back, interesting. The only problem with my knight here is that it blocks my fianchetto plan. He is attacking this pawn as well. Can I get away with the push here? So take. I can make a knight move to use this pin. I feel like that's a good move, but I can't quite get it to work. So push, take. This bishop is pinned, really opening up the center with this king in the middle, so it's a very thematic move. Push, take. I'm cheating with the arrows. Knight takes. And this diagonal is a problem, because this now has it would have two attackers and only one defender, but I have to make a move. I mean, it looks thematic. This pawn does become weaker too, since this bishop would be pinned. This pawn is also hanging. Not that I can capture it. But I do need to do something about this pawn. Maybe here. But that doesn't help. You can just take. This one doesn't help super well either. Maybe knight up now? So knight up, take, take. I can get the queens off. I don't want the queens off here because I have more space. Tricky position. A quiet move, but it's annoying. So d5 looks like a good move, but I need to figure out how it doesn't just drop both my center pawns. Let's try this again. Push, take, take, take. I could play like knight here. Coming into f5. That seems okay. I think I'm gonna go with that because this f5 square is no longer taken. And then I'm gonna have my rook on this bishop, and if my knight comes to f5, my knight and rook are on that piece, and white can't castle at that point. Wait, in that lane he has a knight on this square though. Okay, but I could take. Okay, I think it works. Let's try it. Let's try it. Not 100% convinced of this move, but we got to make a move, and it looks like a thematic move. So I believe the tactics work out just with all the pins. This bishop is undefended. This bishop is weakly defended. I have a lot more space. We'll see. We'll see how it works. Okay, take, take. So knight or a rook comes alive up against the bishop. If he takes with the bishop, okay, I just assume I only looked at taking with the knight, which was a big calculation mistake. Okay, well, lucky me. So here I had this move planned. Again, this bishop is pinned, and now I have some pretty big threats. I like it. Alright, Jay LeBlanc is about to tell me where I miscalculated, but I think this is looking pretty good. This knight coming to f5 is a pretty big threat. And notice this knight has two attackers right now. So maybe here? I guess it does hold. Or this way. I'm also threatening this pawn if this knight moves away. And once I hit this pawn, it's hitting this bishop. So I took a risk there, but it's very, very tactical position. I feel like I have enough here to justify even if I'm down a pawn. Look at the king's safety. This bishop can come in really quick too, though I don't want to really allow that. Definitely going to look at d5 in the analysis. Yeah, I spent almost 4 minutes on that move, but I felt like it was a pretty critical position. So what if he pushes? Maybe I just take, take, take. He takes here, and I just get my knight up. It's looking pretty tough. I could even take, and if he takes back, win the rook. Okay, so what did I have against this one? Okay, I could take this pawn. If I take the pawn, he can castle. I don't really like that. Maybe take here. I can just take back with the knight. Well, no. So here, doesn't quite work. I'm leaning towards this move. Yeah, because then I'm on the g-pawn too. So knight f5. I can win this pawn too. So take. Bishop has to go here. I guess bishop could come here, but then this... I'm going to start with this one, because I can always take this pawn in the next move too. Wait, but here he can castle. So here he can't castle, so I just take... Oh no, he can't. Okay. Liking it enough. So he can't castle, because if he castles, I take here, and if he takes back, then I can get the queens off and then win the bishop at the end. Tough game for sure. Very tough game. This pawn's hanging, this pawn's hanging. But I feel like I have all the firepower coming down. Knights, look at these pieces. These are beautiful pieces. But it just takes one blunder to change the game. I'm also going to look to see if there was something better than knight f5 here. But this just looks like a very irritating move. With this move, he did add 2 defenders to the knight, so that made it a little more tricky. But so far, I feel like I've done, I don't mean to jinx it, but I feel like I've done a pretty good job so far of seeing my opponent's threats and responses. So I looked at knight b6 here. I've looked at a lot of his different moves, so I'm very happy with how I've done so far. So his king is still stuck in the middle. I almost don't want to take here, because then he can just tuck his king away. But I am threatening this piece. How does he actually save that piece? So if I take, obviously he can't take here. Take, the only way to take back is with the knight. But then this bishop hangs. So what's the plan here? I mean, doesn't really have any good discoveries. Maybe I'm just winning a piece. Push. If he pushes, then what? Yeah, maybe a counter-attacking move is his only chance. If he pushes, I could just go knight here, though, and then I'm all the same threats, but I'm also threatening the bishop. Yeah, because this bishop remains pinned. Getting low on time, but the position should be clarifying very quickly. Hopefully there's not too many positions remaining in the game where I'm going to have to make a big tactical calculation. Okay, here, but that doesn't really help him, does it? Wait, yeah, so take. Now this bishop is defended. So it does help him. If I take, he takes back. Okay, so maybe it is best now just to win the pawn. Take, he can take back. But then maybe... Okay, I see a line, so take, 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 knight takes. I win the pawn back, hit his queen, knight is pinned. Maybe that's the way to go. Finds a good move there. I, of course, should have seen that one. Alright, I think I like this one. So maybe it's stronger just to win this pawn, though. I can win this pawn with check, then come right back. Does that change anything? This bishop's no longer pinned, so the bishop can move. I think I like this because at the end, I get this pawn back. I'm going to win the c-pawn, and his knight is going to stay pinned, so I can keep ramping up the pressure. So this was the line. This one, only move queen takes, unless he wants to toss this in, I guess. So hitting the queen. Here, I think this move is pretty good. Or maybe I don't want to close up this file though. Okay. What about take? Is there anything with take? Check. Doesn't look like there's enough. This is what I was looking at. I like that I'm still preventing him from castling. This looks good. Just thinking if he undermines, I don't really have time for this, because then my rook hangs at the end. So maybe that is a good move. I just have to defend like this. Okay. Hitting the pawn that way. This is kind of a sneaky move. Because it defends the pawn a bit sneakily. I like this though, just kind of bear down on the file. But he can castle. Okay. Okay, slight miscalculation, but that's okay. So now I feel like I lost a lot of my pressure, but I still have pretty good pieces. And this pawn is hanging now. And I'm low in time. Okay, so I must have missed something there. This is a good move now, I feel like. Gonna get my queen out of the way. Maybe here? Don't want to go here because it can play knight f6 and bump me again. Let's try here. Okay, so still a lot of game left. Didn't win the piece like I was thinking earlier, but I guess I was never really convinced of that. Yeah, it's really too bad I let him castle. I missed that he could castle in that position. So yeah, I feel like I let a lot of my threats go, but he should be playing a5. Really making my life hard. But this knight is still a very good piece. Rook is undefended. Both my rooks are undefended, but I'll solve that in one move next time. Maybe I even want to go here just to defend the knight. Okay, so I think I'm going to go here and not cede the file. So now this knight is really pinned. Guess here he defends, so that's fine. Alright, lots of game left, so I think we're going to get a longer game. Longer game than I was thinking it may be with all the tactical stuff going on. I can pre-move this one. Other tactical motifs here is this knight is only defended by Black's queen. My queen is undefended, but I don't really know how they can get at it super well. That's a move. But I guess I covered that square, so never mind. Both getting low on time, so hopefully my opponent will make a mistake in the time scramble. I like my bishop coming here too. Yeah, there must have been something better somewhere around in here. Shouldn't have let him castle like that. Maybe a rook sack or something. Okay, strange move. What does that do? I guess we'll go here. And if he takes, then I guess we're just getting some pieces off. I don't understand this one. Maybe just to reduce the scope of my bishop a little bit. Could play rook over. Am I happy to trade? Take. No, well, that hangs a knight. So check here, and there's no checks left. So now I have the file. That's good news. No, but knight here. Take. This knight is still very strong. This is a move too. Knight in doesn't really do much. Also looking at maybe a sack here someday. It's nothing right now, but maybe I get these pawns rolling. King is very safe. Not this move. It's irritating. Queen a8 is the only square to stay defending the knight. Then maybe I don't have anything there, but it's a nice move. Oh, okay, but wait. Okay, yeah. So takes with check. If I just go here, because this doesn't work. What about take? You just take back. Maybe let's keep the threats. Oh no, what take? There it is. Okay. So now the queen's under attack. You can't take back. Whew, okay. I think that's a piece. Okay, one on time, but I think that's winning. Oh man, what a game. So well played by my opponent. I feel like I had a lot of threats there, but nothing really came. Nothing really came to fruition, I should say. So moment.